In the last lecture, we looked at what it is that rationalists claim when it comes to knowledge. They believe that we can learn facts simply by thinking, or to put it technically, as you need to, that we can establish synthetic truths a priori. We will be looking at how one particular rationalist, Descartes, explains how we can come to knowledge through reason. Descartes claims that we use intuition and deduction, mental processes to achieve knowledge. For the exam, you need to know that he thinks that we can establish the cogito as a priori intuition. Don't worry too much about this, because I'll explain it in a bit. And that it is through deduction that we can establish the existence of God and of an external world. So by using these two functions of the mind, we can arrive at synthetic truths a priori, or before experience. Let's have a look at Descartes' ideas on what exactly an intuition is. For Descartes, it is a process of the mind, a process of looking upon an idea. But intuition leads to another important idea of Descartes, and that is the idea of clear and distinct ideas. Now, clear and distinct ideas are immediate and indubitable. They cannot be doubted. They are the result of the process of intuition. Again here, we're looking at the relationship between an intuition and a clear and distinct idea. Clear and distinct ideas are clear in that they are bright and present to the mind. Descartes compares them to illuminating or lighting up the mind, as if lighting up a room. They are distinct because they are independent of any other ideas. And Descartes gives the example of a pain in the leg not being a clear and distinct idea. The pain may well be a clear thought, but as we might not be able to identify the source of the pain, it's not distinct. So Descartes makes a further claim about clear and distinct ideas, and this is that they have to be true. Now, clear and distinct ideas have not gone down well at all. Leibniz, with the amazing hair, makes a good point and attacks Descartes' lack of clarity and fullness in how he defines a clear and distinct idea, not either clearly nor distinctly enough. Where's the detail? Where's the definition? Gilbert Ryle makes the point that you just seeming to know something because you reflect on it and it seems to make sense to you doesn't really tally or fit with what we tend to mean by truth. When we talk of truth, we tend to be thinking in terms of the correspondence theory of truth, in which we accept that we know something is true by being able to check it out in some way. We check out our belief that Paris is the capital of France by seeing if it corresponds with something outside of our minds, so by checking a map or, Google it. Ryle makes the point that by saying that through intuition we can arrive at clear and distinct ideas that are true, is like saying we can know we've scored a goal just by the way we're looking at the way we've kicked the ball, and not by seeing whether the ball has hit the back of the net. You remember us talking about Descartes' mission in the Meditations and how his goal was to establish some certain knowledge by questioning all that he had previously trusted. In Meditation 1, Descartes' method of doubt, his sceptical arguments, take the form of the 3 waves of doubt. In Meditation 2, he comments that this has really taken it out of him, but he has awoken with the determination to continue to search for certainty, or to arrive at the realization that there are no certain truths or knowledge to be had. But recalling his global scepticism of the day before, in which he had considered whether there might be an evil demon deceiving all of his experiences, it led him to an awareness of something. He, Descartes, was thinking, was doubting, and through intuition, Descartes has the clear and distinct idea that the very fact of doubting means he exists. You may have heard this idea worded in terms of I think, therefore I am, and it is often referred to as the cogito ergo sum. Descartes claims that whatever the evil demon is up to, he will never bring it about that he is nothing. The cogito, the idea that Descartes knows he exists as a thinking thing, or res cogitans, is therefore an example of knowledge as an a priori intuition. And so Descartes carries on, and in Meditation 3, we see Descartes rephrase the cogito, but also identify it as a clear and distinct idea, which is therefore true. On the other side of the debate, when it comes to any rationalist idea, are our empiricists waiting to strike. They, and I mean thinkers such as Hume and Russell, are unconvinced that the cogito does or achieves as much as Descartes thinks it does. Consider that Descartes thinks he has established the certain knowledge that I exist as a thinking thing. But have we established an I? Our first objection is often phrased as a joke. Descartes walks into a bar. The bartender walks up to him and says, "Would you care for a drink?" Descartes replies, "I think not," and promptly disappears. So what does happen when I'm not thinking? Do I exist? Do we pop in and out of existence when we have thoughts? Russell, with the help of his brown table, or is it brown, poses a separate question. These thoughts we have about the table, do they belong to the same being, an individual, an I? Yes, a certain brown colour is being seen when we look at the table, but can we really say that I am seeing the brown table? Is that the cogito fails to establish one person or mind existing over time. The thoughts we have could belong to different thinkers. In a similar vein, Hume points out that all the cogito actually establishes is that there are thoughts and not that there is a thinker. A strict empiricist, Hume thought that to claim that we know that an I exists simply by thinking is stretching the limits of the cogito. Could there not just be thoughts, free-floating, untethered thoughts? A possible response to all of these objections is to call upon traditional thinking about what thoughts are and how they fit in with a once generally accepted view of the world. For many years, and still for some today, thoughts could be described as a property. Properties are dependent for their existence on other things called substances. Substances have properties. Properties belong to and are caused by that substance. To say we have a property without a substance makes no sense. And so saying that we can have a thought without the mental substance of a mind or a thinker also makes no sense. Now, this certainly helps us to answer Hume's attack that thoughts can be free-floating, untethered things. However, Whether it addresses Russell's questions of whether we are talking about more than one mind, I'm not so sure. Today we've looked at the following key ideas. I hope that you know that even by thinking about them, you know that they're at least thoughts.